So, you would like to start using some of those big chisels to improve your Gunpla, but you need some help to figure out how to start. Well, today we will learn a technique and a simple design for you to practice. I will also show you how to detail your carving, and there will be also a little surprise at the end. So, without any further ado, let's go! Learning how to use chisels bigger than 0.3 mm can be pretty tough. Way more than regular scribing, which I covered in my previous video, How to Scribe. If you didn't watch it, go and click on it and you can come back to this one later. Today, I'll be working on this flat part for our tutorial, borrowed from my entry grade new Gundam, and I will be using a 1mm tip. One of the main issues you will probably have is how to have a flat carving. It's really easy to make the bottom curved, deeper in the middle and shallow on the side. The next steps will help counter it. Let's now grab our measure tape, which will make everything easier once again. Let's start positioning the strip parallel to the edge, creating the base of our carving. Now I will put a second strip in the middle, making sure, thanks to the markings, to have it perpendicular to the first piece of tape. Using a bench vise really helps for this kind of precision works. The next part is really important, and getting it right will make the difference between a good and a bad job. You should now have two 90 degrees corners. Get your chisel and keep it perpendicular to the part. With the help of the tape, position the tip exactly on the corner and gently press. Do not, I repeat, do not press hard. You are not trying to stab your model, but just creating a dent. Wiggle it a bit to help out creating this dent without the need of a lot of strength. Then repeat the process on the other side. Remove the strip, and you should have now two dents perpendicular to where the carving will be. You want now to remove a small wedge of plastic. Keep your chisel at a small angle, no more than 30 degrees, and gently push. Once the little wedge is removed, you should have a nice starting and ending point for your scribing. You want these two carvings to be as small as you can, because it's really easy to deform the plastic if you go too deep. Now we are ready to start scribing. Probably you are used to keep your chisel at a 45-degree angle. You want to increase the angle and keep it at 75, maybe 80 degrees. The big tip is less sharp, and keeping it like this will help a lot. Start the process keeping your hand light, same as a regular scribing. You don't want to use any force, and let the blade do its job. Believe in the heart of the chisel. Getting used to this kind of scribing takes time. It's really easy to mess up and do a terrible job. I suggest practicing on a spare part, or maybe a cheap kit like an SD on entry grade before trying it on a nice model. Just keep making carvings until you feel comfortable with your result. Just to make an example, this has been the first time I've been struggling with having my camera in the way and not being able to keep my usual position. The final result is acceptable, but not as sharp as usual. It's also a good moment to remind you to leave a like and subscribe if you're enjoying this content. Thank you so much. Now let's get back to our scribing. Keep scribing in the same direction until you have reached a decent depth. You will notice how your blade will get full of plastic residual. Make sure to keep it clean, you don't want all that stuff in the way. When you feel that your carving has reached the depth of our initial dent, turn it around and scribe a bit in the opposite direction to even it out. If now you want to make it deeper, just repeat the same initial process. Make a small dent inside the carving. Then turn your blade around and use the flat part as a guide to remove another small wedge. Be very careful and delicate. Repeat the process on the other side. You can now start scribing again. Now our carving is almost ready. I will sand it a bit to remove any irregularities on the edge. It's also a good moment for fixing anything you don't like with the base. Just some extra passes and it should be done. Let's work on detailing. I will use my 0.15mm tip to scribe the edges of the carving. I usually start on the long sides to then move to the short ones. Now, let's add a last detail. I will be using a 0.5mm tip. Carefully make a dent in the middle of the carving. Then, reversing your chisel, lightly push to carve out a small square. Do it in both directions, and repeat it as many times as you need until the square is even and defined. This, with the camera in the way, I'll be honest, has been such a pain. But still, this is the final result, which can be panel lined to make the detailing pop out. Now a little bonus. If you don't feel like detailing your carving, you can use one of these pre-made metal details. I will use this 1x16mm one, which is casually the size of our carving. Let's now apply a bit of cement on the part and then slide carefully the metal part. I think it looks really good. Let me know in the comments below if you ever used one for your models. And this is all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video and see you soon!